Because Quattro is so customizable and allows you to set it up in a multitude of different ways, we're going to go through a bunch of the yielding resistances to one, understand what they do and what they are, but then how to maybe optimize it for yourself, or if you're a clinician, for your patient, so that they can be getting the most benefit out of Quattro. So the first resistance that we're going to go through is our sitting resistance. So now I've got my sitting resistance turned all the way down to 0. You can see how much it really supports me. Not very much at all, right? Because it's at 0, it's not going to give me that resistance that I can sink into. Really unsafe. I've never seen anybody at 0. But again, let's go up to 100. On the flip side now, we are at 100, and we'll see how much really too slow for me, right? If I was just sitting down normally, that's too much. It almost kind of throws me back because it's resisting me so much. And so we're going to adjust it back to where I want it. At 50, where I can sit down and ride the hydraulics, but it doesn't slow me down or anything like that. I just can do a nice comfortable sit, but I'm still getting support. I'm not just falling on it like I was at 0, and it's not kind of pushing me around at that high resistance like it was at 100. Something unique about Quattro is that the resistances are separate, especially coming from chairs to ramps and stairs, because someone like me, or most people I know, want a different resistance when they're sitting into a chair compared to how they're descending stairs. So for me, I want my resistance on a chair up just a little bit more, so like we were just going through, I can really fully ride those hydraulics and get the benefit of them supporting me. Whereas on stairs, a lot of times, if my stair descent resistance is the same as my chair sitting resistance, then it usually is too slow for me down the stairs. So again, we're gonna go into our stairs and ramps, and we're gonna jump this one down to 0 and see what that looks like down the stairs, and then up to 100. So again, we're at 0 here, and I'm gonna be careful because this is not gonna support me at all, and you need to see that. But also I have my Quattro foot on, so that hydraulic ankle is going to allow me to keep my foot a little bit more on the stair than I normally would be if it was on a typical carbon spring foot, more out here, half on, half off. I'm probably gonna be a little bit back here, a little bit safer, but again, that's because I have a hydraulic ankle on. So here at 0, see there's nothing there supporting me. If I really try to show it without hurting myself, there's nothing. So now we're gonna be up to 100 and just show the difference there. I can't even really descend the stair. And so that's where that high resistance, you know, if I was coming off of a chair resistance that was maybe just a little bit higher, that's kind of what it would be. And then you end up in unsafe situations where, because that knee isn't bending, it's kind of throwing you forward down the stairs. Right there's a good example. Like that kind of throws you forward. And so that's why this setting is, one, very nice that it is separate from sitting, but also is worth messing with and getting dialed in correctly. So now I have my resistance where I want it, about 45, I think it is, and you can see that's a natural way for me to descend the stairs. And again, if you notice, coming off of my sitting setting, I think that one is up around 50, 55. So it's not a major difference. It's not a huge difference, about 10 points, maybe 5 points. But that does make a big difference in how comfortably I can descend these stairs. You know, this is more natural for me. Now moving over to the ramp, again, we have our resistance back down to 0. So we'll see how much this supports me coming down the ramp. You see, none at all. Really have to use my arms a lot. And so that's not a very comfortable or safe way to be. Now we're back up to 100. So we can see, can I even descend this ramp, or does it just kind of throw me forward? I can descend it a little bit because, again, I have a Quattro ankle on, so that helps me get some forward movement, but you see that knee isn't really bending at all. Even if I sink all my weight into it, that's not enough. I don't weigh enough to get it to really go. So this, again, is in a really comfortable spot. We'll go back to my 40 position and see how that looks on ramps. We're at my comfortable gait, and again, I can get down that nice and easy. I'm still kind of dropping a little bit on the left side, but that's just being an above knee amputee descending ramps to some extent. So this is, again, really comfortable, safe. It's not catching me, throwing me forward, doing any things like that. So again, really worth playing with these settings and getting them dialed in for the end user.